Hi everyone, it's Heidi from flutterbuyheidi.co.uk. Heidi Smith, I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator based in the United Kingdom, and today I'm creating a lovely gift card holder with you using the Super Sweet Ice Cream Bundle, and this one is just to show you how you can create this fun little ice cream sundae basket. It's a variation on a stable door card, so that half fold, and you can see here just a space on the inside for you to pop a gift card holder. To pop a gift card, it's a holder for a gift card. You don't have to add that in if you don't want to, but it's a great way of just dressing that up slightly, and I thought it was a bit of fun. And fun to use these lovely papers that come in the suite as well while they're still available. So as you can see here, lovely sort of kind of, you know, sort of sorbet kind of colours, but some others, mint choc chip, one of my favourites, and on the reverse the usual sort of all over patterns available to you as well. Some lovely strong blackberry bliss colours as well in there, as well as sort of pinks and greens, see old olive, and you see here this kind of lovely peachy tones and yellows as well. So if you've got the paper, great, and if not, you can always create some with the stamp set yourself. You will need your stamping pierce mat and obviously your punches, and for that internal little pocket I use the Everyday Label Punch, but you could just as easily probably use the Label Me Fancy Punch as well, just to create that, or even you could even use the double oval punch as well if you wanted to create that. So let's get started. Let's clear the decks and wheel away. Okay, so to start off with, you're going to need a standard card base, half a sheet of A4. So I'm just going to trim this one down to 14.5 by 21 centimetres. So that would be 5 3/4 by 8 1/4 inches, and you're just going to then score that at 10.5 to create your card base. Now the next thing we're going to do is actually do some cutting. So you want to do that halfway. So this is 7.25 or 2 7/8. So take your blade up to the top and just bring that down until you see the little line on there line up with the middle. Always a good idea to stop slightly short because it will cut into there, and then you're going to trim that away. I tend to trim away with my scissors, and I do tend to do that before I fold the card as well. So I'm just going to trim straight down that score line, like so. Okay, so that's our card fold. You're then going to want some piece of card to go on the back there. I'm using Calypso Coral, so this is 10 by 14 centimetres to go on the back there. Next you want a layer of DSP, so that layer you want it to be, so you want two pieces, so you're going to want a front and a back. So I'm going to use the, which one shall I use? Okay, so it's about 6.8. You'll have all the measurements, but your DSP is around 6.7 by 9.5. So let's go for this one, and we can play around because you want two pieces the same. Okay, so that's you're going to have one piece to layer. In fact, I might go for that one with my sort of scoops, and you want one piece for the bottom. So again, about 6.7 by 9.5. So that's going to go on the front there. We're going to want a piece of card to go on there as well. So that card is it is 10 centimetres by yes, that's 6.7. Actually, I might want my paper slightly. Yeah, so the paper will be 6.25. Like so. That one, because it's going to layer on the top there. That one doesn't matter so much because it's on the top, but you want a piece of card. I will pop these in the PDF as well. Right. final little bit is a piece of basic white that you're going to want in there as well. So our basic white, you're going to want that at 9.5, and this one will be, because it's going to layer in here, that'll be 6.7. That's where I've got my measurements mixed up. Okay, last little piece that you're going to want to cut is 4.5 by just under 10.5, so around about 10.2 centimetres, so around about the 4 inches. You want it very slightly narrower than the width of your card, because you don't want it fouling on the inside. So what I'm going to do is, while I've got that out, I'm going to do the punching on that now. And with this, all I'm doing is taking the punch and just eyeballing it. And I'm coming just off the bottom, just where that scoop happens. And that creates a useful little pocket there. And I'm going to glue that now, because you want that to be glued. If you've got fine tip glue, I would recommend it for this bit, because you just want a very narrow but strong layer. On the inside. So you're going to pop that, and you'll see by just taking a couple of millimetres off, it just means it sits just on the inside of that score line. And once it's kind of settled, I usually just pop my card in there and then press it down. And that way you're getting a little bit, it comes in very slightly more, but you've got enough so it doesn't distort the front of your card. So I'm going to pop that off to one side while we add together our layers. So these ones, very straightforward. To add to there. I'm going to keep that and do a little stamping. So we can grab our, as you probably gathered, I'm using kind of Calypso Coral and Petal Pink, and so the sort of orangey tones in Petal Pink work well with this. And I'm just going to take a scrap of paper just to protect my pad slightly. I'm just going to stamp with our sprinkles down each side. The card. That'll go on the bottom there. And now we can actually start creating the rest of our pieces. So with the ice cream scoops on the top, the way I find it easiest to do this, okay, I'm going to do a couple of Calypso Coral and one Petal Pink. So I'm going to use my Petal Pink one first, saves me having to worry about cross-contamination. So there's my ink pad. Now, my stamped image. Now, it doesn't look much fun when you do it like that, but I have to say, if you add on those dots, it really does bring it to life. Really good fun. Obviously, I'm just going to quickly wipe my stamp. I'm not going to do a full clean. I'm just going to quickly wipe it on my very well used chamois, and I'm going to stamp my other two. Now you can see that with this photopolymer stamp you get some shading in there as well, and again just come in with those dots, and by turning around you get a different effect as well. And the reason I've orientated them this way is on about a 4.5 centimetre piece of card. And the reason for that is because you can then come in and feed your ice cream from the top, like so. Punch. Make sure you've got enough space when you punch these that you've got some coming down into the cone bit. The reason I say that is because otherwise, if you leave it too tight, you might jam your cardstock. So if for example I'd literally just come there, that might jam in there. But by coming down just a fraction more, leaving a bit more clear space, you're cutting through that. Okay. So we've got our 3 ice cream cones. Now what we want to create is our little basket. So I'm going to use the cone shape and some cinnamon cider ink. And all I'm going to do is just stamp. I haven't used my photopolymer stamp set, my Stampin' Pierce mat. What I'm going to do is just come and line that up, like so. And again. I haven't done as good a job on that as I did on my original one, but that's what happens when you're on video. But you won't notice it because by the time you've added your little detail there, all of a sudden it sort of kind of changes the effect. And you come in and just cut across, use those as a guide. And come down there, and there we've got our basket. Now the next thing that we're going to be doing is putting that basket together. So the way I found this easiest to do was to add my glue to the top of the basket, and I then just lined those 2 scoops up with the outer scallop being on the outside edge, and then concentrated my glue on those 2 kind of outer curves. Possibly haven't overlapped that as much as I might have done. Ooh, okay, it'll be fine. Then just pop that one up on top there to create our little layer, you can see there. And while that's drying, we can just finish assembling our card. So pop your layer on the inside, along with our bottom part. So that's great because it means you can write your sentiment and or your message in a card, and it won't be immediately evident. It won't be on display to everybody. Add some glue to the front. You see it, and again, all you need to do is just add those layers in the front there. So rather than sort of terracotta tile, I've very much gone for the Calypso coral effect here. And then I'm going to now add, using my dimensionals, to add dimensionals to the bottom section. So I'm just adding sort of 4 in here. And that then creates our adds our basket to the front, and you can see there on the back. You could always put an extra one on the back if you wanted to. And then we're just left to do our sentiment. So with this, you can choose to add a different contrast colour if you wanted to, as I've done here, or you could then just stamp it onto a scrap of Whisper White and fussy cut it out. So I always like to go for, on this one I've decided to go for quite a nice, the stronger colour, just to make it stand out against that background. So you can then you can't even die cut that out either, because there is no die with it. Duh. So what you're going to do is fussy cut it. Or obviously you could create a banner for it with our banner punches. So just some quick and easy. And you don't have to go down between the letters if you don't want to. You can just keep it quite sort of simple along those top lines, just by wiggling the card between the blades of your scissors. And it just adds another little dimension to your project. But it does allow the pretty paper to come through. And this one fits really well on our banners picker punch, because that's about that goes up to 1 inch wide to create those lovely banner shapes. So you could stamp this onto a piece of card 1 inch wide and punch the edge of that to create a banner if you don't like fussy cutting, and not everybody does. I've kind of grown to like it on some of these big sort of large word sentiments. So there we have our happy birthday, which should just bring that to life. You could always add it onto a layer if you wanted to of coloured card and then trim that as well. I'm not going to do that today, but it's another option for you. And again, for the DSP, if you haven't got the Ice Cream Corner DSP, then you could use our in colour DSP. Would work really well with this. Some lovely patterns in there, or you could choose some of the more generic designs from some of our other ones. So the Sweet as a Peach, which is a new one in the annual catalogue, I think would work really well with this as well. Some of those reverse ones. So there we go. So there we have a pair of gift card holders using the same sweet, similar colours. I've left a bit more of a gap on that one. I've closed that one up. Probably prefer it slightly more closed up. What do you think? But there you have them. So thanks for watching. Come back and see me again soon. Bye now.